Welcome to the Love and Victory Show with Val, where we will bring you candid conversation. In each conversation, we will talk about real life ups and downs while tackling unresolved matters. We will also unmask issues and truly speak straightforward and candid about our needs and brokenness, while allowing ourselves to exhale so that we can become victorious. This is a place where you can be open to the possibilities of living life in abundance while gaining tools to become bold and complete. So let's get to it.
All righty, we are back. We're back. Did y'all enjoy that music? I did. I was enjoying it. I think the people behind the scenes, they were in here dancing. Oh, that was me. Okay. That was me. So I'm going to turn this over. This is the men's show.
The Men of Steel.
The Men of Steel. And y'all know I have to sit back on my lawns unless the men don't bring it.
Well, that's not an unless. You're going to do it anyway. So anyway, good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the Love and Victory Show with
Val.
One and only Val. And today on episode of Men of Steel, we're going to talk about stepping outside of your comfort zone, which is something I do every Saturday morning coming on this show.
Oh, can y'all believe that?
And so help us with this conversation, we have two men that I think are very capable of just having this discussion. In studio, we have Christian. Christian, how you doing?
Doing great. How we doing today?
Yeah. And welcome back to the studio.
It's good to be back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, if you will.
Yeah, my name is Christian.
There's your camera right there, not the TV. There's your camera.
I know. I just want to see my.
You want to see your physique? Yeah. I love. Let me tell you. Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah. My name is Christian. You might recognize me from being behind the scenes on the show. I previously worked for the LV show, and excited to be back. I'm currently just a freelance content creator, so holla at your boy if you need some videos.
All right. He's pretty damn good at it too.
Let me tell y'all something. Christian is not just, his name supersedes him. Christian is not a young man that is going to shortchange you. He is a man of integrity. And that's why he's still connected to the Love and Victory Show with Val.
Yeah, if you stay tuned, he'll put his information up there so you can contact him.
There you go.
Yeah,
all right, then. Welcome home.
Welcome back again. All right.
So good to see everybody.
Oh, God.
And every first Saturday of the month, we have Brother Justin B. Long on the show. He don't need an introduction. This man here, every first Saturday is here, but I want him to tell the people a little bit about yourself there, Justin.
He can tell them, but I need the introduction.
You want the introduction.
That introduction. That's his fault if he ain't ready. Because I told him that he has to come to the stage to get me ready for. It's only
Justin,
once a month.
See, you started something, Justin. Nah.
I did. I wrote a new rap for you guys, so you wouldn't have to listen to the same one. Are we ready?
We ready.
All right.
You need a beat first?
No, I got it in my head.
Come on in.
All right. I'm Justin B. Long, and I'm a Carter Crew alum. I've been sharing my experience like disposable income. I'm a life-altering success story. I've walked a mile and then some, but the change didn't happen from sitting on my bum. I've recorded an album, and I've written 8 books, turned a lot of people's heads with my stunning good looks. Back when my river was a barely trickling brook, I had to claw my way up, and here's a bit of what it took. Before my sobriety, negative notoriety, hanging around with the dregs of society, I was filled with anxiety and delusions of propriety, but I just couldn't see what was gone wrong inside of me. Plug in the jug, assessed the hole that I dug, found myself some people who don't use drink or drug. I started making changes, gave my child self a hug, and left my old life behind me and walked away with a shrug.
Come on,
learning to live with my inner divinity, making a living amends to those that were hurt by me, take off the mask and expose my identity, finally experience a moment of serenity. Share all I've learned with the world so that they can see. Lead by example with my friends on the L&V. We're imperfect people, but we have an affinity to let our light shine bright for all of the world to see.
Woo! Woo!
Bars.
That's what I had to say.
That's
Man.
why I need him to do what he do. He gave me all the energy. And you know what
Yeah.
I love so much about my brother from another mother? He keeps it real,
Mhm.
just like his sister. Brother.
You didn't see us, Justin. We were
We
dancing.
were
We were
dancing.
jamming.
So Justin, I'm thinking, maybe on the first Saturday of every month, we change this to the LBJ show.
Now that's how you say good morning.
And you got some praise in there.
Oh,
We said, hold on.
oh, they coming in.
Someone said Justin the rapper was dope. Justin, appreciate you, brother. All right, now Justin, and then Aaliyah said bars.
Oh, man, I'm moving up.
Yeah,
Christian, you got some love too. Someone said, "Welcome back to your previous home. Glad to see you." And hello.
Oh, God.
Hello, everybody.
Let me
all
tell
right.
y'all, if y'all not ready for this show,
Man, Justin is a fan favorite.
That was the bar.
let me tell you, Justin. And don't you ever step on the Love and Victory show and not introduce yourself like that. Don't just say hi. Bring it. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Justin, you seem very comfortable being uncomfortable there.
Well, like I said earlier, this is where I grow, and to
Uh-huh.
be growing is my whole life purpose. So,
All right.
Wow. Well, we're going to do this acronym and get this show going.
That's right. That's right.
Woo.
As you guys know, the acronym is to kind of set the tone for the show, give us something to go off of.
Mhm.
So today's conversation is step outside your comfort zone. The word of the day is complacent. C is for canonical.
Canonical.
So you found a word that you can.
Canonical.
Canonical.
So you found a word that you can't even pronounce.
Yes,
You-
I did.
You work for me.
I start mixing up people's names too.
I done rubbed off.
Canonical, well-established patterns and laws. O is for opportunistic, making it.
Okay, that
taking-
can't sound like a Brother Carter word.
No, it is a word.
It's a word.
It is a word. Stephanie can help us with the pronunciation.
Stephanie, we calling you out.
Opportunistic, taking advantage of the situation for personal benefit. M is for malleable, capable of being changed, molded, and adaptable.
Mhm.
P is for pivotal, very important or life-changing. L is for limber, able to move slowly, flexible. A is for allegiant, very loyal. C is for capricious, having wild, unpredictable mood changes.
Precious.
Capricious.
Look, wait. Christian is dying over here. He's like, oh, that's so smart. Come on.
Capricious.
Capricious. Keep going.
Such a capricious individual.
Keep going.
E is for expected, regarded as likely, anticipated. N is for narrow, not wide, limited in size, amount, or extent.
Oh.
And then lastly, T is for transcendent, exceptional, surpassing the ordinary.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
I just got to say that.
Okay.
Come on.
Rohit made that one.
No.
I did.
No.
You made that
I
one.
made them.
Well, it's props. It looks fantastic.
That was fantastic. Well, you know what? I just okay. I got
I want to hear what Justin had to say about the acronym here.
yeah, I'm over here just flabbergasted, just using big words. But that was a huge acronym with a lot of really good words in it. That was mad props to that. That was awesome.
I try to bring new words in, not
we
the
want
same.
we want to teach you something, not just get you
Mhm.
healed, but we want to teach you something on the Love and Victory show with Val.
I think we need to talk about some of the words in the acronym.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
come
which
on.
one you
Yeah.
got?
Which one you want to talk about?
Justin's gonna have to use some of those words in his next rap.
We should make that a challenge.
Yeah.
Ready is one of
Yeah,
the
you-
acronym words.
You have to use one of the acronym words in your next introduction.
I gotta get
Ooh.
capricious in there somewhere. It rhymes with facetious, so I already got some ideas rolling.
Okay, then. So, what do you want to ask?
Okay.
Oh, this
Yeah,
your show.
I can't see the.
Where your glasses at, brother? Because they right
I can't see
there.
the acronyms.
Okay.
I try to make the font big for you guys.
They're
I
real
know.
huge.
It's
y'all.
on here.
It's no, the acronym not on there. Y'all see, it's all in. It's live.
No.
This is live radio.
It's live
Yes.
radio. We
So here
can't
we
even
go.
fake this.
I know. So, Christian, good morning.
Morning.
Let's dig into the show a little bit. When you heard the story, the outline, the title of this show, stepping outside of your comfort zone, what was your thought process?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, especially earlier on when we were kind of talking about, stepping out of your comfort zone with the thought of the day and everything. Like, it made me think that, like, a lot of stepping out of your comfort zone, is just kind of just like saying yes. When life sometimes brings you something, you have a choice, and like you can either say yes or you can say no. And when you say yes, you're opening up yourself to these changes, and something that you might not be comfortable with. It's so easy to kind of fall into the same thing.
Wow.
What you do every day, your routine, but sometimes like breaking that routine can be highly rewarding.
So when you heard that, you were like, let me take this. I can handle it. Or did you say, Lord, where are they gonna go with this? What was it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always wondering where you guys are going to go with this.
And so, having said that, I wonder what does stepping out of your comfort zone look like? Give me an example of something that you
Stepped out.
maybe stepping out of, and you might be afraid to do so, but you do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like going back kind of to like, like Justin, like you, I consider myself kind of an introvert, I go back to that like battery analogy where it's like, I charge my battery when I get my me time, I love my me time.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
that doesn't mean I don't like going out and being social with people and hanging out, but that kind of drains my battery, So like when I get back home and I kind of have my me time and I, go through my rituals and I watch my shows and I, do my thing, that kind of recharges my battery. So like for me, it's like, maybe my friends are like saying, oh, let's go hang out, and, it could be the usual place or it could be something crazy or different, maybe this time we're going to go rock climbing and it's like, oh man, I've never been rock climbing. So you can either be like, oh, you guys go without me, or you can say, yeah, like, let's go, let's do it. And then now you have a new experience, and I feel like new experiences kind of change who you are.
Wow.
Okay.
It helps you to evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I like that.
You can't grow unless you're doing something new.
Right. Something new, something different.
If you're doing the same cycle every single day, like you're not really growing. You're not really evolving, like you said. You're kind of just
status quo. You're just existing.
You're just comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, I like to, and no disrespect, but I like to take it even a step further. When you're just being comfortable, I think sometimes we hide behind the mask. I'm comfortable, but are you really comfortable when you're just maintaining? And so, or when you're just doing? I really do believe that when you tap into that place of, this is really taking me to this place that unfamiliar area. Y'all get it. I done did one of Brother Carter's words. This unfamiliar place, I end up doing, I grow. It's okay to go to that unfamiliar
And
place.
sometimes when you get out of your comfort zone, you can actually enjoy yourself too.
Yes.
You're like, wow, this wasn't so bad.
It wasn't so bad. What was I afraid of? Yes, I love it.
So Justin, when you heard the topic, the storyline, stepping out of your comfort zone, what did that mean to you?
It made me think about a conversation I heard recently, which reminded me of one that I had with my mentor years ago. And that we were talking about your brain's job is to predict the future based on past experience, right? So it's always trying to figure out what's going to happen. As long as I know what's going to happen, then I'm okay. And that is what creates that safe bubble of the comfort zone. Is that, here's all the things that I can do, and I already know what's going to happen. That way, I don't have anything to be afraid of, right? There's no unknowns in this. But we don't really think past that to like, what's the consequence of something happening for the first time ever, right? Like I remember talking to my mentor years ago he was really trying to encourage me to go to therapy because I had a lot of childhood traumas that I was carrying around, and that stuff was just really running my life. All those insecurities that I was, just everything about my life that was negative was because of that stuff. And he's like, you can fix this if you talk to a professional, somebody that can walk you through this. And I was like, well, I've never done that before. That's a scary thing. He's like, well, what do you think is going to happen when you go sit down in front of a therapist? What do you think is going to happen? It's like, they're going to want me to talk about all my scary secrets, right? All this dark stuff. He's like, well, okay, so what do you think is going to happen when that happens? When you put your stuff out there, when you say, yeah, my dad beat the crap out of me, what do you think is going to happen? I'm like, well, I don't really have an answer for that. Like, it's not like they're going to throw me out on the street or hit me with an axe. Like, nothing bad is going to happen. So we have this image in our head of when we're in unfamiliar territory, like something horrible is going to happen. But when we think about it, like, what do you think is going to happen? The answer is nothing.
It's so funny you say that. I went to a therapist years ago, not so many years ago, and the therapist asked me he asked the question of, what bothers you the most? And I looked at him in my controlled mind. It's like, what's wrong with him? That sounds really...
It's a dumb question.
That's a dumb question. And so as I was able to lower just kind of peel back my own guards, I was like, that was actually a deep question, because when I started to really talk about in this counseling session what really bothered me, I found I found out a lot about what was really holding me back. Even just a small question that they throw at you really makes you go to that place of where you've never been before. And so you kind of have to go there to deal with, to go forward. So that helped me. So it's so funny you said that. Yeah, it resonated with me.
Yeah, I like how Justin put it with, like new experiences and everything. Like being comfortable, I feel like means like not taking risks. Right. Like you feel comfortable doing something and it's like in your routine, and it's almost like scary to try new things, because it will disturb your status quo. Like, how is this going to affect my routine?
Right. Okay. I'm sorry. This is the Love and Victory Show with Val. This is Men of Steel, but I got to come in here because I'm getting some healing today. It really is about growing through your pain. And the pain has been, you've been able to kind of control it, you think, and really kind of say, okay, I'm going to protect this thing. I'm not going to really talk about it, because as long as I keep this guard around it, I'm still protected from the things that hurt me or the things that were uncomfortable. So I'm going to keep this wall. But what's happening to you as an individual on the inside is still very traumatic. You're living it over and over and over, and you're not able to come out of your comfort zone. So once you start, and that's where I want everybody to understand the Love and Victory Show with Val came from, that candid conversation. Once you start to talk about it, for me, I started to breathe. And then once I started to breathe, I was able to really expound on what I didn't know how to understand what was happening to me. And so once you start to talk, and find a safe place, not someone that is going to rip you apart. I know I'm taking over the men's show, but I'm really having a moment here.
Just talk.
Once you start to talk, once you start to open up and really share the things that in a safe place that can help you heal, oh my God, it's life-changing. So there may be people that are listening to me and seeing me today wondering, who is this woman? This is not the person that I knew. She's changed. I have, because I have opened up. I'm in a different space. I am happy. I am good. I have owned the things that I imprison myself, not you. So let me stop.
Then let's get to the meat of the matter here, if you will, for a second.
In a second, I will. Let me stop holding other people accountable for my journey. And so I want to say that, man, when we have this conversation for stepping out of your comfort zone, that also has to be about stop holding other people accountable are responsible for you not being willing to step out of your comfort zone.
That's
Well,
right.
I think it can like kind of play back into the whole LV with Val space if you think about it, because like Brother Carter was saying before, every Saturday he gets out of his comfort zone, right? And I think it's it's the same for both of you guys. Like in order for LV with Val to even be here, you had to step out of your comfort zone, and try something new, right? Because I mean, before LV
it wasn't working.
Yeah, before LV with Val, it's like it's not like you were doing a different podcast. It's not like you were doing a different radio show.
No.
You had to try something new, and now you get to enjoy the fruits of stepping out of your comfort zone.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So let's ask this question here. You form these comfort zone, I would imagine, as a child, and coming out of the comfort zone, meaning to have to evolve as a human being, maturing, should I say. And so how do you approach coming out of the comfort zone, discarding that young boy that was in your life? Justin, I'm sure you can expound on this pretty good. Coming out of the comfort zone of that once child you was, that little boy you was, versus the man you are today. And
are you asking the question, how do you come out of that and really forget about how you were brought up?
There's something has to take place, I believe, for you to come out of this area of the little boy, of being comfortable in this space,
right?
Versus going to another space in life where you have to leave a little boy behind, should I say? Can you expound on that a little bit?
Yeah. The realization that we all have to come to is that, the comfort zone doesn't mean the happy zone, and the uncomfortable zone doesn't mean the danger zone. That it's not necessarily, I do what I do over and over because this is what I know. I know how to predict the results, right? But that doesn't mean that I like it or that I enjoy what's happening. It just means that I know what to expect. And I think for most of us, when we stay in that space, we choose to be miserable because we're afraid that it might be worse on the outside. But once you realize that it might be better on the outside, then I think that gives you some courage. And usually there's an outside driver, and you've got someone in your life or an event that happens or something that forces you to take that first step. And then you realize, this is actually a little bit better. I love
I love what you said about coming out of the comfort zone. It's not necessarily a happy zone.
Right.
I love when you put that, because a lot of people may confuse that.
They are not the same thing
being
at all.
Happy. Yeah. I'm comfortable being here, but no, you're not. Sometimes you can be miserable in a comfortable situation. So
my first relationship was a great example of that. I've met a woman in a bar, and we went home together that night, and I moved in immediately. I never moved back out because I was so afraid that I wouldn't find someone else, right? And after a little while, we kind of realized that we weren't very compatible with one another, that drinking and partying was the only thing that we really had in common. But I stayed in that relationship for 11 years because it was the known quantity. I knew what to expect. And I didn't know what life would be like on the outside of that. Wow. And I will tell you, I've been outside of that for 15 years now, and life is way better on this side of things. But if I hadn't ever taken that step to try something different, I would probably still be in a relationship that I didn't want to be in, and I would be miserable in my life, and I would be wasting my time.
Oh my God.
And I'm really resonating to what you're saying, honestly. And it's just, I'm really, I always say I'm not going to take.
But stop saying.
I know,
please.
but I'm going to say it.
Just engage the conversation.
Okay, I am. I'm going to stop saying it. But I'm really resonating with what you're saying, Justin, because for me, before I was really able to just let go, I was comfortable with just being behind the scene and just kind of being that person. Even though I was uncomfortable, in my mind, I was comfortable because I felt like that was the place I needed to be in. That was the place that was designed for me to make everybody happy, kind of be behind here and just almost like being a puppet. You get what I'm saying? But really, I was miserable. So wow, thank you.
Yeah, I agree with what Justin was saying there too, and it's something I never really thought about until he kind of articulated.
Yeah,
it. But it's
yeah.
like familiarity sort of breeds comfort.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Like you going through the motions feels normal,
Exactly.
and like because of that, like I feel like almost as humans we're drawn to that, right?
Mhm.
Like we look for patterns in everyday life, and then once we find something that sort of works,
Yeah.
we stick with it,
We stick with
and then that's comfortable.
Right. That
But-
can also be toxic.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Like maybe
yeah.
that routine, maybe there's something that's unhealthy in that
Right.
routine.
I'm just a
I would say
throw.
it's usually toxic.
Well, I'm gonna throw something at everyone and just kind of probably everybody's gonna. Well, I don't know. It kind of goes back to religion. It goes back to the fact that sometime, I'm going to church. I'm reading my Bible. I'm doing
Mhm.
this because this is what I have been taught to do. But what am I getting out of it? Am I-
Taught to do or told to do.
well, trained to do or told to do or what, this is what is expected of me. But what am I really doing and being who I really am or who I'm supposed to be? And so it brought me to a thought of I can keep going to church because, and you guys can put whatever place it is, but I'm going to say I can keep going to church
Mhm.
and going in because that's what I've been taught as a child to do every Saturday. And let me just tell you before I go any further, God is the head of my life. I am a Christian, so anybody that want to get in my comments and say anything, go sit down. I can keep going to church
Mhm.
and being what everybody else has designed or think I should be and be unhappy with myself. Or I can go into the church house and understand what the purpose is that God has for me. And when you get to a place in your life that you're no longer worried about how other people, because it's in your head, other
Mhm.
people think you should be, and you get to a place in your life, what is it for me? Getting out of your comfort zone. What is it for me that I'm supposed to be doing?
You're supposed to, in my opinion, you do what you want to do.
But you
If that
don't
makes
know.
you happy,
But you don't
that's
know
not-
what you want to do when all you've ever been doing is what other people told you need to do.
Well, I'm glad you're on the Love and Victory show with Val because we're talking about getting out of your comfort zone.
Mhm.
And when you're told and shown to do things one way, you have to step outside of that comfort zone and start doing something different.
Yeah. Well, but
It's not all about what other
there you go.
people say you should do. You have to grow on your own at some point in your life.
You
That's
got to
my
step
opinion.
away. I love that.
Yeah.
So I know, y'all know
I see you
Abigail.
over there.
Abigail is, oh my God, girl, what?
This is a comment actually from Facebook. It's not me. It's not me. I just thought this
I
was
love
a
it.
good comment to
Come
add
on.
to the conversation. John Neville said, comfort zone is like a barrier that we create for ourselves to
Yes.
protect ourselves from the world.
I love that. And thank you. That's really important, Brother Carter.
What?
It's your show. Go back to could you put it back up?
Yeah.
Comfort zone is like a barrier
That we
that
create
we
for
has created
ourselves.
ourselves to protect ourselves. Like,
From
Yeah.
the world.
what you think about that, Chris?
I mean, yeah, I think I agree a little bit.
Yeah.
Like everyone makes their comfort zone out of something different.
Mhm.
Like maybe you have like a certain comfort food that like
Mhm.
might not be the best for you that you eat
Yeah.
whenever you feel bad,
When you're stressed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
or you have like a show that you watch that
Mhm.
like probably has like a terrible message, but you watch it anyway because it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the things that make us comfortable aren't always healthy for us,
Right.
Oh,
but they make us feel better, right?
Mhm.
And it's important to feel good because
Yeah.
like if you live your life just feeling miserable all the time,
Mhm.
then like
but feeling comfortable, I'm sorry, it's, because you become familiar with something.
Mhm.
Does that necessarily mean that it's healthy?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely.
but I think that comfort
Mhm.
can be healthy though,
Mhm.
right? Like it's important to have those times where you feel comfortable
Yes. Yeah.
because if not, then you're always kind of like on edge and you're
Yeah.
like,
Well, I don't want to put JBL out on the scene like this, but he was very comfortable going to bars every night. And that was not a very
Why you keep bringing up?
comfortable thing
Why you
for
keep
him to
bringing up
do.
his past?
I'm just saying,
Okay.
to break
That's
up.
what I'm here to talk about. We got to
Yeah.
learn from the past.
Then Justin can talk about this. See,
Yeah.
and he not ashamed to put himself out there.
Yes.
Right.
He's grown from that.
Yes.
So anyway, so that can be detrimental, should I say, being comfortable or used to doing things a certain way or being a certain person. Agree or
Being in
disagree?
a certain place.
I think so. You know, when I got single, let's step out. I got sober when I was 32. I quit drinking, and I was still in a relationship with that woman that I was talking about.
Mhm.
That lasted for another year and a half. But getting single was step one on me. Well, stop drinking was step one on getting out of that comfort zone. Getting single was step two and trying something different.
Mhm.
But you know, at some point in there, Roland, my mentor, you know, really sat down with me and made me kind of examine my life from an outside perspective and try to figure out, you know, who is Justin? What am I about? And have I been doing that? Right.
Mhm.
And what I realized is that I had all of these masks in place and I was doing all of these activities and things. My whole life was built around trying to manage other people's opinion of me. And none of it had anything to do with who I am. I didn't know who I was. And so I've spent the last 15 years trying to figure out who I am and what I like to do and what I believe and what I don't believe. And I've had to examine my belief systems and discard all kinds of stuff because it was stuff that I inherited from my parents or the people around me. And like it had nothing to do with what I believe. And I've changed almost everything about my life as a result of going through that process. But until you sit down and start thinking about who am I really? Am I living to my values and what I believe is right? Am I engaging in like art and stuff like that? Things that I used to think weren't manly enough for me to do because other people might think I was a sissy or something. You know, it turns out I love painting. I love writing books. I love playing guitars and singing. I like all that kind of stuff. Anything that's a creative thing. Now that has evolved into like making videos and we have a podcast and things like that. But creating really makes me feel like I'm living to my capacity. And I love that feeling. But until I stopped worrying about what other people think and try to, you know, manage other people's opinions of me and figure out who I am and what I want to do, I never would have except that feeling, even though that's what I was chasing my whole life.
Yeah. So how did you approach this when it first began? Coming from
how did you know?
How did you come into this area where you knew you can do more or better than what you were doing? How did you
I had a feeling in my gut my whole life that I was missing something huge, that my life was not what it was supposed to be. I just didn't know what to do about that. You know, I thought that if I got the right job and got into the right position and made enough money, you know, like got in charge of people or something, that I would feel that feeling that I'm complete and doing what I'm supposed to do. But none of that stuff was doing it for me. But I kept trying different things. I think by the time I was in my 30s, I knew that something had to give because alcohol had been the tool that made me feel okay. Alcohol created my comfort zone when nothing else in my life was comfortable, and it stopped working. Like I would come home from work every day and drink 6 or 8 beers and I would be okay. I would feel okay about who I am and what's happening. But I only feel that way in that moment, right? So I've got 2 hours of feeling good about myself and then I'm right back to the shame pot.
Right. So what did you turn to? What did you turn to when you turned away from alcohol? Because a lot of time we substitute one addiction for another addiction. You know, so what was your go-to after drinking?
This all happened because of where I work.
I didn't hear you.
No, I used to get off work at 2:30 in the afternoon and go home and drink. So I had like a big block of time in the afternoons that I had to fill with something else, right? So a buddy of mine that I worked with started coming over after work and we would play guitars. And that got me into the music thing. And I used that to fill my space. But the compulsive behavior that I formed to fill the void of alcohol was buying guitars. Because every time I bought a new guitar, like I felt really good for a while.
Wow.
And a year into this, I had 15 guitars. And you know, that was should have been a red flag earlier, but I didn't understand compulsive behaviors at that point the way that
And that's what I wanted to bring up in this conversation, that, you know, because we do tend to go from one thing to another.
We do.
And,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Wow.
And so how do we how can we break that
cycle of
Yeah,
going
this-
from one thing, because you're not healed. So actually what you're doing is you're changing one addiction to another addiction.
That's all
So-
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you what is it that you have to do to say, you know what, I need to break that chain, because that addiction is still there. I'm just substituting it.
So
with something else.
some of us just have an addictive personality and it just can't be broken.
Well, I think it can. So let's
It can.
find
It
out.
absolutely can.
It literally
It
can
can
be.
be
It
broken.
can be broken. Let's talk about it. Come
Yeah.
on, Justin.
For
Or
me,
Kristen, jump in
um,
here.
it was all about the way that I feel about myself.
Yes.
And I you can use all these things, and I still have the shopping thing. When I go on Amazon and buy a new light for my studio here, I've got this thing shining on the wall behind me. I think it looks cool, makes me feel good, right? But
It does look cool.
every time I go
It does.
buy one of those things, like I get a little rush out of that, and
Mhm.
that's absolutely a compulsive behavior. But
Mhm.
I recognize it now. But the way that we change that is we have to change the way that we feel about ourselves on the inside, so that we don't need those external things to help validate who we are and our value. And
Oh.
for me, that required trauma therapy. I had to go through what's called EMDR. It's a form of trauma therapy, and it's where we access these childhood traumas, or whatever trauma. It could be an
Right.
adult too. But through that process, we change the emotions that are tied to memories, and that helps you change the way that you feel about yourself and who you have always been and who you are today. And when you can do that, you can. For me, I changed my perspective on myself from I am a piece of crap and I am never going to do anything that's right or good enough, because my dad never gave me the pat on the back that I needed. I
Right.
formed that belief about myself, right?
So you
And I've
like
changed that
yourself now.
I love myself. I am so
Yeah.
proud of who I am and what I've
Yeah.
accomplished, and
Yeah.
the way that my life is going. Like, that is the
Yeah.
most amazing,
Yeah.
like gargantuan life change.
Oh
Right.
my God.
And that's
that-
where it is right there.
That in
That's where the magic
itself,
is.
Yeah.
that in itself, that is a whole, okay. When you really start to like yourself, and I like to use the word love yourself in the
That's what he
place
said.
that you're in right now, it is, it's the best drug ever, because then you're in a space, honestly, and don't take this drug thing as a negative. It's really as a positive, because you flipped it to something positive. You're in the best place to be used and to really go to heights and help people on a whole nother level. So it's so good that I hear you say that, because it's really true.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I love myself.
Yeah.
That's good.
And so for the people out there that may be in a comfortable, they call it a comfortable situation, but it's actually toxic.
Mm.
I lost my thought.
That's okay.
I lost my thought. It just went over
Just
to the
because
left
something's
side over there.
comfortable doesn't mean it's healthy.
Don't
for
mean
you.
that it's healthy for
Just
it.
because there's a lot
Because
of
it
things
feels-
in life that feel good. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's good for you in your
Exactly.
life.
Well,
Exactly.
I guess the question I want to ask,
Go ahead, man.
what does that adjustment look like? Adjusting from that, because there is a process in adjusting from that uncomfortableness to comfortable. Christian, you've had a lot of adjustments that have happened in your life. And I just want to start with just coming on the Love and Victory show, as an intern, and then being hired on. And then, I like to say that this is almost like a trampoline, a spring to the next level. What does it look like? What did that look like for you?
No, yeah. I mean, especially when it comes to, my past with like work and everything. Like for years, I was just doing like home remodels, like just to sustain myself, right?
Mhm.
And that was comfortable because I was making good money and I was able to like support myself. But like deep down, I knew like that wasn't what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
It just like felt good because I was able to, afford food,
Yeah.
and clothes, and
Yeah.
everything. But then when I finally made the decision to, do what I wanted to do, like do what I felt like I needed to do, and it wasn't comfortable, right? Like I was looking everywhere and like, on Indeed and looking at jobs and everything, and like trying to find something that I could follow my passion in video with. And I couldn't find anything. And that was very uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And then finally I found LV with Val, right? And I was like, okay, like this place like feels like something, you
That I
know,
wanted to-
at first it wasn't comfortable,
Yeah.
right? Because it was a brand new experience.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
you know, it's not like there was like a set way of doing things yet,
Mhm.
you know. There was all these new people in a new
Environment.
business and a new environment,
Mhm.
new boss, right?
Yeah.
But then like over time, LV with Val became comfortable,
Mhm.
right? And then I had to make more decisions where it was like that weren't comfortable, you know.
Mhm.
Having to leave LV with Val was not a comfortable decision.
Mhm.
And it didn't feel right at the time, right? But then over time, you know, I learned new things and gathered new experiences, which I feel like benefited me as a person, but I wouldn't have been able to reach that level if I hadn't, you know, left LV with
Yeah.
Val and did what wasn't comfortable to do.
And I think that, and the reason
That's
I
good.
actually kind of turned that to Christian because, and then we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back.
Mhm.
The reason I turned that to Christian because one of the things that I really believe, and he's just so special to me, is that when you really just kind of surrender it all to what you really want to do and trust who you are on the inside and what God has for you, the sky's the limit. So look at what you're doing now. You came here. Well, you actually got out of your comfort zone before you came here. You got on Indeed, and then you found us, and then you started doing the things that really made you happy, and now you're on a whole nother platform. So
Mhm.
you know you got to just trust what God has for you, and just really get out there and do your thing.
Amen. Amen. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we want to talk to the people that are having a problem recognizing that they're in a comfortable situation, but is it a toxic situation? So we want to
Dive into that.
dive into that and let them know how to get out of this toxic, comfortable situation.
Right.
Make sense?
Yes.
All
Ask
right.
us questions in the comments. We're going to come back with some answers for you guys.
All right.
All righty then.
Well, welcome
All right.
back to the show, folks. Welcome back to the show.
Yes.
And when we left the show, we were talking about being in a toxic situation.
Yeah, but we
and
gotta be-
being comfortable with
Yeah.
it.
But before we go back to that, we're going to do these quick shout outs and then we're
Oh,
going
we
to
got some
jump.
shout outs?
Yeah, we got some shout outs. We got to do them shout outs.
Let's
over
get
there.
the
Yes.
shout outs in.
So, as you guys know, LNV is our nonprofit. That's why we started the Love and Victory Show with Val, was
Mhm.
to kind of help uplift our nonprofit LNV. So, that
Mhm.
being said, we have a Valentine's event coming up next Saturday.
Next Saturday, drum roll.
Drum roll. So I'll be
Yes.
quiet. I'm gonna let y'all just watch this video with all the information you need to know. Come join us for some Valentine's Day jewelry shopping. Whether you're shopping for a loved one or treating yourself, come shop at Kendra Scott City Center on Saturday, February 10th from 3 to 6 p.m. here in Houston, Texas. All purchases made during this time will help support L&V Enterprise Resources, Inc. in our 2024 initiatives. You're not located in Houston? No worries. An online code will be available. For more details or to make a donation, please visit lverinc.com.
Oh, I'm dancing over here. Oh my God.
So we have our L&V event coming up. I'm going to put something up here on the screen because we are actually offering a goodie bag for the first 20 people who RSVP using that QR code there on the screen. So it'll take you to Eventbrite. If you're tuning in just audio only, just go on Eventbrite, look up L&V Valentine's event. It'll show up. If you RSVP and say you're coming, whenever you come in during that time frame from 3 to 6 p.m., you will receive a goodie bag with your purchase. And I also know that a lot of our listeners are not in the Houston area. So there is a online code that you can use. I'm going to read that out to you. It's give back in all caps, GIVEBACK dash FTHDN. And that is only available from February 10th to 11th. Starting at like midnight to midnight, pretty much. Yes. So if you want to help support L&V, do some Valentine's shopping, treat yourself, Please.
Yes.
Hey, look at that!
Please.
Look at that black and red coordinated team up there.
Please don't be like
Sounds looking good up there.
Thank
And
you.
Yes.
and what's the percentage that off the purchase that go to LMV?
It's a price.
20%.
20%.
20%.
And remember, you guys, we're not too far away. We haven't just got out of Christmas. Y'all saw what we do with everything that you donate. Literally, we put it right back out to the initiative. So
Yes, we have a lot of initiatives this year, and we want this event to be a big boom. So please come shop with us at the City Center location or use that online code. If you have our newsletter, it was sent out in the newsletter. It's also going to be available on the LVERINC website
And our social media.
and our social medias as well.
okay,
All right.
You
all right.
cannot
I'm gonna
miss
be
the
a little
code.
petty, and then I'm gonna move on. And not petty, but you see our co-host that's always on here. Him and his wife did something that was so
Mhm.
amazing. And since he's here, I really want us to be able to. I don't know. There's a video that he did.
It's coming out on social media.
It's gonna come on social
It's
media.
gonna come out on social media.
Okay, so please tell them when they gonna catch it.
When
I
you
don't
have it
wanna-
scheduled out.
It's already on.
Well,
On
Already,
LMV.
I know it is, but I want them to see it again.
On here?
Yeah, because Justin.
I don't have
is
it
not
available on
okay,
here, but
Justin is just not anybody. Y'all not gonna skate past Justin.
Catch
No.
Justin on our Instagram.
Justin
Yes.
is all over the.
I pinned that video, so it's one of the first ones you will see.
Oh,
yes,
okay,
go
then.
check out our social media. It's up on there. And then we have a few more shout outs for you guys as well. As you guys know, we are on LV with Val radio station.
Amen.
We have tons of other shows like Tasteful and Toxic every
Mhm.
Wednesday at 8 a.m.
All right.
We have VK Career Conversation on the first Monday of every month at 8 a.m.
Mhm.
We have Anna's show and Power Hour every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m.
Yes.
And then I, of course, have a show as well with my mom called Journeys and Ambition on Fridays at 11 a.m.
All right.
If you would like to start your own show or advertise with us, please email us at info@lvwithval.com. We can take all inquiries there. You saw our That Kind of Media ad. We do advertising here on the Love and Victory Show and also on LV with Val Radio. If you are interested in starting your own show, we can book a consultation with that and see if that's something you'd be interested in. So you can also call us at 832-913-1359.
All righty then.
That's a whole lot of advertisement you done now.
Yes.
She did. She
Yeah.
Getting so professional.
Yeah.
We gotta
keep the
get
lights
through.
on in
Yeah,
here.
Yeah,
gotta keep
man.
the lights on. Gotta pay the bills.
Wow.
Nigga.
That was a good job you did, Ed.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
You-
So we're going into our Q&A session now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so for our Q&A, we have the first question is from the Michael Jordan himself.
Michael is back on this
Back
morning.
again.
The Michael Jordan.
He knew it was the men's show, Men of Steel, so he wanted to come on in here. What you got, Michael?
All right, MJ.
Have you ever tried to come out of your comfort zone, but it is just too difficult?
I think that raised another question for me because there are a lot of people that are in a toxic comfort zone that do not recognize that they're in a toxic comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question to the question would be, how do you recognize it? How can you start a change in
How do you know
Yeah.
you need to come out of
Yeah.
something when you don't even see
when
it
you
as
don't
being a
even know?
problem?
Right.
So, okay,
Got an
Michael.
answer for that one.
You see what he did, Michael? Michael.
I'm just adding to the
No,
question.
no.
that's-
Michael Jordan. You are Jordan. So he passed the ball back to you. But while you get your thoughts back, JB, come on with it. I like that.
I think what I would say to that is if you don't feel like you are maxed out doing everything you can do in life,
Mhm.
in a comfort zone.
Mm.
If you are doing everything you got, if there's not enough hours in the day to do all the stuff you're trying to do, then you're getting out there, right? But if you are not in that position and you just do your job and you come home and you sit around and watch TV and you just aren't putting any effort into growing, then you are in a comfort zone.
Woo, that was deep right there.
Yeah.
So in other words, when you just punch the clock to go in and then you punch the clock out and then you completely shut down, you're in a comfort zone.
You're in a comfort zone.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
let's
about
see.
90% of the world.
It is.
if not higher.
Well, and I think being outside your comfort zone is just that. It's uncomfortable. Like
Yeah.
I used to be that person that would just go through the motions. I would go to work. I would
Yeah.
come home. I wouldn't do much. And like now I live a life of abundance where I literally,
Look at that baby talking about an abundant life.
you know, it's in our intro. So. It's funny that Justin said that because literally just the other day I was like, I have so much going on. I was like, I just wish there were more hours in the day.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I do feel I'm exhausted. I like to take my naps when I can, of course, but it does feel like fulfilling.
Yeah.
You're more fulfilled.
I'm more fulfilled.
You know, and then,
It's worth being a little tired and exhausted.
and
Mhm.
people don't get that. They think, oh my God, you need to just shut it down. But it's like,
And you do need to know when to take breaks.
yes.
Right.
For
Yeah.
sure,
You-
when you're living that kind of
You
life.
have to know how to rest your mind,
And,
rest
and
your
say
body.
no sometimes.
You do.
Because you do with stepping outside your comfort zone, you have to still be comfortable.
Mhm.
You know, like even with what Christian said earlier,
Mhm.
like you know, he was working a job that he didn't necessarily like, but it, you know, was able to feed him, put
Yeah.
a roof over his head.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you got to do.
And
Yeah.
like Brother Carter said, you know, that's most people. I feel like is like
Mhm.
people who they you know they clock in and then they clock out.
Yeah.
They get their money and they just
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
You know, like they're able to
Yeah.
pay for food.
There's
home.
not a whole lot of Justins out there.
Ooh.
Just-
That's probably a good thing.
Well, you know, he said something, and I love what
Yeah.
both of you said. He said, clock in and clock out. But
Mhm.
are you really clocked out? And I'm going to ask this question. Are you clocked out from everything around you? Or are you clocked out from life itself?
You're emotionally clocked out.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
that's something you really need to
I don't think
gauge.
you clocked out in life unless
Well, you are,
till you
because-
die here.
No, okay. Justin, you want to jump on what I'm saying? I may not be articulating it exactly.
I think you're right. But like, if you're not engaged in what's happening in your life, then you're just going along with it. And
Yeah.
I know I can name 1,000 people who just exist. You know,
Mhm.
we work because it pays the bills, and we come home and we watch TV. We don't do anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Like
Yeah.
that's existing. That is emotionally clocked out, in my
There's a
opinion.
difference
That-
between
that'd be
surviving
me.
and thriving.
That'd be Brother Carter stuff.
No, I think you're different. No, I don't think he emotionally clocks out, because I'm going to push back on you. Because
Really?
no, you don't. Because literally, it's a show. Our kids always say we need cameras behind us, because we literally have a good time, but we have a good time with each other. So maybe the clocked out is you're not dealing with any problems, because he's not. If you got problems, check with him when he.
It's going to be rare that I want to venture into something different.
Okay.
Okay, so
Mhm.
that's what I mean.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We have one more
Well,
question and then we'll.
Go ahead, Justin. You were saying something before we get
I'll
to
just say, Brother Carter is doing a lot with his life too. He's not just like I think when you're actively engaged in this show, trying to
Yes.
change the world,
Yes.
that's not the same thing as just
That's
going
not
to
the
work.
same thing, right? Because you're
Thank
not.
you, Justin.
Yeah, you're doing
You're
a lot.
passionate about what you do.
Yes. See, you really are.
I ain't saying I was dead. What you have, Abby?
Okay, actually, there it is.
I
Okay.
thought you was ready.
I was.
Okay.
This is from Don. He said, "When did you think that it is the time to step out of your comfort zone?"
When you're uncomfortable, and when you're not happy, and when you can't breathe,
Yeah.
and when you're just like sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, somebody else
Let
may
me
want to
give
say
you.
something
When do you think is a good time to step out? Is when you recognize, excuse me, recognize that you're in a comfortable and
Complacent.
yeah,
Yeah.
you recognize you're in that space. Then I think it's time you might want to step out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you
want
think?
more out of life than you're getting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like at some point you recognize that you can do better than the situation that you're in currently. And like Abby said, like complacent, I think is a good word.
Yeah.
Like once you start getting complacent, you can make the decision to kind of stay where you are,
Mhm.
or you can make that decision to do better.
Right. Right.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, guys. This has been an amazing show, but y'all know what
Been a
we
fast one.
Oh my God. Every time. And so now we're at the point. Please don't leave, because I need y'all guys to hit the like button, subscribe, give your comments, because y'all know how YouTube is. YouTube don't do nothing. We can have 1 million people in here,
Mm.
But if you guys are not hitting that like button and subscribing, we're not going to go up on the algorithm. That word right there.
Algorithm.
There you go. So make sure that you're doing that. And now it's time for the final thoughts. Okay, who are you going to start with, Brother Carter? This is your show.
I'm gonna start with Christian.
Okay.
Final thoughts. What you
Yeah.
think about the show, and what can you lead the people with?
I mean, final thoughts. I am like so like excited about where you guys are going with the show and everything. Like even just walking in here today, I could see like kind of like all like the positive changes and everything you guys have made. Like the LV with Val show is not staying comfortable, you know,
Mhm.
always moving forward. And yeah, basically just, you know, like we were saying before, where it's one of those things where you know when you need to evolve, right?
Mhm.
Like you can feel yourself kind of getting into the same rhythm every day. And at some point you make that conscious decision where you're like, I can do better than this, or I can, you know, make a change,
Yes.
freshen things up and, you know, take the next step towards something exciting.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Anna, have any final comments? Final
Final
remarks?
remarks on being uncomfortable is it's fun to be uncomfortable, guys. I mean,
I love that.
Mhm.
yeah, I think you want to grow, you want more out of life instead of keep scrolling on social media. Go scrolling your life and go find something else to do. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
out there.
You said stop scrolling on social media. I love
She
it.
said scrolling life.
Scrolling life.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Do a different post in your life almost every day if you can.
Yeah.
I like to be out of my comfort zone almost every day, and right now I'm out of my comfort zone with my 5 a.m. tribe. We're reading, we're meditating, we're exercising, and it's been this was the first week, and it's been a
Challenge.
long week.
Mhm.
Yes, we've been
You get up at 5 a.m.?
Wow.
4:45.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, so I can be ready and I change and everything. And it's just fun because in this tribe we talk so much about growth, and right
Mhm.
now we're reading a book about the Tolteca Mexican culture.
Mhm.
And the 4 principles of this book is that don't take anything personally,
Mhm.
do everything that you do in your life to the max, because when you do it to the max, you're doing it happily, you're doing it with your best efforts, again getting out of your comfort zone and doing everything that you can with a good push. It says and watch your words for sure. Watch your words, watch your mindset.
Mhm.
And the 4th one is don't gossip. Stop with the
All right,
scrolling on
all
social
right.
media. That's
All
all
right.
gossip.
She said cut the crap at the end. Okay, Abby, what you have?
My final thoughts are, I think this was a really good conversation. I think
Mhm.
especially it's still being beginning of the new year. I think a lot of people, like we kind of talked about, are going through the motions. They're
Mhm.
surviving. And I don't know if y'all caught it earlier. One of my favorite things to ask people is, are you surviving or are you thriving
Oh,
today?
Right.
Yes.
Mhm. I
Because
caught it.
we have days where you're just surviving,
Right.
and that's totally normal. But you want to live a life where you feel like you're thriving.
Okay.
And the only way to do that is to step outside your comfort zone and to not be complacent, our word of the day,
Oh,
and
right.
to be the best version of yourself.
All right.
All
Well,
righty.
the host Val, what you have for the people?
Oh, my God.
About you.
I have to say, it's okay, as Abigail said, to step out of your comfort zone. But I want to say the best version of you is yet to be seen.
Mhm.
So experience it, get out of that comfort zone and then just experience the best version of you.
Mhm.
And every day, try something new. And when you're tired, take a break.
Yes.
Don't feel like you in a competition. What is that?
Competition.
Competition
Mhm.
with anyone.
Mhm.
This is your race, but just get out of your comfort zone.
All right. And Justin, what do you have for the people?
I think it's important not to live your life on autopilot. You
Yes.
need to live intentionally, be conscious of what you're doing. Living outside your comfort zone is a lifestyle, and that's something that you have to do with intention. And
Mhm.
just lean into that and just be conscious about this is me trying to push my boundaries every day and grow into my capacity and be better than I was yesterday.
All right.
Yes.
All right. That's good. And I'm going to make it plain what Justin just said there to some of the people out there. If you find yourself sitting on your couch day in and day out and just eating and drinking and doing nothing with your life, you're probably in a toxic, comfortable situation. So it's time to get off the couch. Let's put a little exercise in our lives. That can be uncomfortable at the beginning, but if you continue, you keep trying day after day, that will become comfortable for you.
Yeah.
And so we need to stop. I don't want to be preaching to nobody, but get out your comfort zone. Get off the couch. Stop watching TV so much. Read a book sometime. Let's do something different, and then we can come out of this toxic type of comfortable situation. Should I say?
I love that, Brother Carter.
Yeah.
And again,
I'm preaching to myself.
well, that's okay. That's okay. That's how we grow on the Love and Victory show with
I've been
Val.
working out lately, though.
You
right?
have.
Yeah,
Y'all see
see?
this?
Muscles, man.
Pull his gun out.
It's to the gun show.
Y'all saw that, right? But anyway, Abigail, tell the people how they can catch us and when they can catch us. And first of all, again, before you guys log off, hit that like button.
Hit the like button.
Yes,
Hit the like
That
button.
like button. Don't go off. Don't close off. Don't do anything without hitting that like button. Go
And
ahead.
Justin, and next month, Justin, I'm leaning toward seeing how you would host a show for us on next first Saturday.
All
right.
He's flipping the script on us.
Yeah, I want you to host the show.
I'm moving on up.
Yeah.
It's a
'Cause you-
surprise
yeah,
for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, I mean, the people love you on first Saturday. I think a lot of people really come onto this show to hear you articulate our aspect of the conversation. So, and I want you to host the show, if you will, next Saturday. Not next
would
Saturday, next first Saturday.
Next
First
first.
Saturday. I would
Yeah.
be happy and honored to do that. Thank you.
You good? Okay. How about you? How you feel about doing prayer and scripture reading and all?
Because in other words,
Fun.
he ain't
Huh?
I'll find my way through it.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Tell the people bye.